Good morning, fourth quarter storytellers. Hey guys,
Good
welcome,
morning.
welcome to the community, everyone. All right, so last week we talked about some myths when it comes to health and nutrition, and that's really, really important. And today we're going to actually continue along those lines with something that's really, really important because we know that if we don't have our health, we don't have anything. And so today we're going to pick up when it comes to sleep and how important sleep is, the importance of sleep. What you say about that, Val?
Ooh, it's very important. We need to talk about it. If you can't sleep, you can't do anything. If you're missing some hours of sleep, honey, you're not productive and you're not healthy. So we're gonna give you some great pointers here.
Absolutely. I agree with you. So, one thing I wanted to bring up first of all is that, of course, if we don't have our health, we don't have anything of value because we got to have good health in order to be able to function in life properly. So, when we talk about self care, and self care is a big buzzword now, it's more than just going to get a mani pedi because a lot of people, think about that. But self care actually is part of body, spirit, and mental health, all of those things. And sleep is super important to our health. So, what I do know is that when we sleep, our bodies are actually healing themselves. They heal themselves. And what they do while we sleep is they repair muscle, they repair our organs and other cells. So while we're sleeping, all of that is taking place, and it doesn't. Those body functions happen overnight because our bodies use less energy while we're sleeping. So those
Mhm.
new cells can then be repaired and rejuvenated. And then, of course, in that REM sleep is the main sleep that we want to get, that rapid eye movement, which is, of course, when we're dreaming. That's that deep sleep. So
Mhm.
that's what we're looking for there.
Yes, ma'am. And I have to say, Cynthia, that is so true. That deep sleep is what keeps us going. That deep sleep is what keeps our cardiovascular health great. That deep sleep is what keeps our hormone imbalance going, the growth, the cortisol. I mean, that deep sleep is really great. And also, what I want to say is when you're in menopause
Mm.
and you're having issues with sleeping, that's one of the things that happen to you. You can't sleep that well. And when I tell you guys, I have found this magazine. Now, I'm sure it's online too, but this magazine here, you see, I got my little stickers
Mhm.
everywhere, and it tells us a lot of things about how menopause affects our sleep. Um, this is called the Specialization for Very Well Understanding Menopause. And guys, just let me just tell you a little bit that it talks about our sleep. And when I read this, I said, I'm every bullet point here is pointing at me. How much do you need your deep sleep, which is what Cynthia was just talking about, right, Cynthia?
Mhm.
How much you need that deep sleep going into that rest mode so that you can feel better. So though your muscles are relaxed, your brain is relaxed. So let me just tell you just a couple of things, if you don't mind, Cynthia. Give me at least 3 to 5 minutes just to tell you a couple of things out of here, guys. And this is by Wendy Weisner. How much deep sleep do you need?
Mm.
Okay. She tells you that this is when you're not sleeping well, you might feel halfway awake and you're easily aroused. So you can hear everything that's going on, right? So now you think, oh my God, I'm so tired because now my sleep is broken, but you were never in that rested place in the beginning. So
Mm.
sometimes when you're going through menopause, you're not going to have that heavy resting place that Cynthia was talking about. But it's very important, and we're going to talk about some things that you can do in order to get to that point. So now, what are the benefits of that deep sleep? All right. Okay, so this deep sleep is the key function. to memory cognition, right?
Mm,
So I don't know. I'm Cynthia. I know you've heard me mention before, like, oh my God, I have brain fog. I can't remember
mm-hmm,
this. And you would just tell me something, I forget it. Well, that's because your mind is not at rest. It's constantly going. It's constantly going. So that's a benefit of having that deep sleep. When you're in that deep sleep, then you're going to be okay. You're going to be restful at a restful state.
mm,
Okay.
mm-hmm,
So the your memory will decline with age. So as we're getting older, the memory is already going to decline with age, but what's going to help that memory and sustain it is getting the proper rest. All right. So I talked about what happens if you don't get enough rest. Okay. You're not refreshed. You don't have that ability to keep moving forward. You don't have that ability to apply yourself when you are at work. You don't even have the ability to do your workout plan because you're so tired and your body is just telling you you need to, hey, go back and get some rest. So ways that you can build a better sleep, bedtime routine, honey. Come up with a sufficient bedtime routine that will help you. Take a hot bath, soothe yourself, meditate. All right. Install a dimmer light switch so that way your darkness is telling you, hey, it's time to go to sleep, time to shut your brain down. Go ahead and get your PJs out earlier that evening. Avoid those nighttime stimulants.
mm-hmm.
You know, try not to do that. A lot of people are like, oh, I just need these stimulants or whatever, but avoid those nighttime stimulants. Let's see, shut down all electronics. I'm gonna say that
Yeah.
one again. Shut down all electronics. Would you like to drink some peppermint tea to help you sleep? Okay, okay, thank you for that. But you guys shut down those electronics and just go to bed. Go to bed. Okay. Now I do this. Wear socks.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Okay.
socks, the warm fuzzy socks, they make you feel really relaxed, and those fuzzy socks help you fall asleep quickly. And this is given to me by uh, uh, physician Phyllis Z, director of the Center of Circulation and Sleep Medicine.
Okay.
They're actually saying that wearing socks, fuzzy socks, help you calm and help you get calm and go to sleep. Limit evening food and drinking. That digestive system, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We got to limit that. So we have the less we have, the lighter we feel, and the better we feel. Okay, so there's a lot of good things in this book here, this magazine that tells you how to work on getting that deeper sleep that Cynthia's talking about. That's right. No more midnight snacks. Mm-mm. No more midnight snacks. We're not going to do that because we want to focus on getting the rest, and especially for your cardiovascular health. That you want to have the adequate amount of sleep for your to lower your blood pressure. You know, it increases heart disease when you're not getting that sleep. All right,
Absolutely.
so it does, and I can tell you because I sit on the side of that where I have a minor heart disorder, and when they ask me, "Oh, how are you sleeping? Are you sleeping well?" I'm like, "I'm trying." Are you? But I'm sleeping 4 hours a night, so that's not great. When it tells us as an adult we need 7 to 9 hours of sleep, so you know, just kind of think about how important it is for your health, how
Mm-hmm.
important it is for your mental health. You know, it's very important. So I'm going to let Cynthia talk a little bit more, and then I'll come back. But I'm on my soapbox because I can't sleep. You know.
I know,
And
I know. But you know what? And that's interesting too. When you talk about that sleep schedule.
Mhm.
So a healthy number for adults, actually, yeah, I do strive for 7 hours daily.
Mm.
Usually, sometimes
Me
I
too.
get eight. 6 hours is okay, but five, I'm not good at all.
Oh
And
my
so
goodness.
I need more than that. So I need, but they say 6 to 8 hours of sleep, and you said 7 to 9. So
Mhm.
somewhere within that. But whenever we do get into the bed and we
Mhm.
go get into sleep mode, getting ready to go to bed, like you just told us, Val, about those operative conditions that we could have, like maybe some reading, taking a
Mhm.
warm shower, warm bath,
Yeah.
listening to a sleep story or some
Mhm.
comedy. something, you know, making your room where you sleep ideal, making sure it's dark, making sure. Now, this is something I don't necessarily agree with, but they
Mhm.
say studies show that most optimal, if I'm saying that right, um, temperature is 65 degrees to sleep. To me, that's too cold. But
It feels
but
good to me, Cynthia.
that's temperature to sleep, but not for me. But so anyway, once you do that, when you get in the bed, aim for 20 minutes after you get in the bed to actually drift off to sleep. So that's
Mm,
what we're trying to do. And then Val was talking about the different nighttime things that you don't want to do close to bedtime. One thing, talking about alcohol and reading about alcohol, if you drink alcohol, wine, any kind of alcohol, make sure you're consuming that at least 4 hours prior to going to bed. Meals, if you're going to eat something before going to bed, because Val was just talking about the midnight snack, make
mhm.
sure it's 2 to 3 hours prior to going to sleep. And then nicotine, never, ever, ever, ever. So, nicotine, we're not even going to talk about nicotine
Mhm,
because
mhm,
nobody needs to be smoking anymore. But the environment should be dark. If you need to have earplugs, that helps. A lot of people use eye masks. The eye mask that they put over to, you know, help darken the room if you need to put on a ceiling
mhm,
fan or just a
mhm,
fan. I don't have a TV in my bedroom anymore. And
mhm,
all my life, I did have a TV in my room, but now I don't because I value my sleep as I'm getting older. And so I don't even have that in there to keep me awake. But one thing I do consume as far as the screen, and that's not good because Val, you were just talking about turn off those
Yes,
devices.
turn them
I
off.
will listen to a sleep story sometimes, and, you know, and that's on my phone. So that's
Right,
in there.
right.
Yeah. And
Mhm,
then we know that our bodies are not designed to work overnight shifts. They are not.
mhm.
And it actually goes against our biological clock. So it has been recommended for sleep deficits to get naps as often as we can. I'll give my example of overnight shift. I'm sure everybody has, you know, worked the overnight shift at some point in their life. But when I worked an overnight shift, back in the day, I worked an overnight shift at a condominium complex. And guys, when I was overnight, I was probably about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I got so sleepy that it just helped me. And this really did help me.
Mhm.
Go and lean against a wall. I found a wall to lean against. I'm standing up, you guys, and I leaned against the wall and closed my eyes. That really helped me because that
Wow.
lets you know just how much closing your eyes and just for
Mhm,
a couple of minutes, you know,
mhm.
I needed to get that feeling of sleep. But I
Yes.
was standing up because I couldn't go, I was on the job, but I
Mhm.
was able to just go and lean against the wall and stand up and close my eyes, and it helped.
I would have fallen down. I would have slid right on down. I don't need to prop up against any wall.
I know, but it did help me. But that just lets you know how much that's not something we're supposed. Our bodies aren't designed to do that. It goes against our biological clock to be working overnight like that, and we're just not designed. But when we can do it, you know, we can hold up for, you know, a while, maybe months, maybe even a
Mhm,
year. But after a
mhm.
while, it's like I'm tired of this overnight shift. It's
Exactly.
yeah, it's got to go. But
And think about what it does to your body when you're forced to work those jobs. And
exactly.
I have not looked this up, but I feel as if there may be increased health issues if you're
It's a
working over.
carcinogenic. It's been ruled by the medical association that
Yes,
it is a carcinogenic.
that's it. So, I mean, I know we may have to, but you got to think about you got to think about your body, think about longevity. You got to think about all those things when you, because you need that sleep. You got to get that rest.
Gotta
Um,
get it.
you got to get it. You mentioned those eye masks, and you know they have the gel cooling eye masks. Those feel really good. Those
Okay.
are soothing. When you put those on, that is so soothing. It's like it's just take you into another world.
Oh
And
wow.
feels and it feels really good. It
Okay.
feels
Okay.
really good. And I'm just like you, Cynthia. I don't have a TV in my room. I never felt that TVs were meant for bedrooms. Your bedroom is for you to rest.
Exactly.
So I didn't want any distractions. Now, I will say, like you listen to like a sleep story or something like that before you go to sleep. Sometimes I'll listen to um, gospel music or some
Okay.
soothing jazz. I'll even listen to little baby music, like they have the little lullaby music or whatever when I feel like I
Yeah.
just can't go to sleep.
Okay.
But I hear it and then I'm like, oh my God, that's my phone. Now I gotta wake up to turn it off.
I
So
know.
it's still
I
try to
know.
keep those things out of the bed.
I know exactly. And then and you know another thing too is when I go to bed a little bit earlier, it usually helps me get my 7 hours of sleep. Like if I go to bed at 9 or 10,
Mhm.
I usually am guaranteed to get at least 7 hours of sleep. So when you go earlier, and then also another thing we were talking about exercise last week,
Yes.
physical activity actually
Mhm.
helps us meet our sleep goals. Mhm.
I'm telling you, it's different thing. You got to get tired. It makes you tired. The more active you are, the
Yes.
more tired you get. But
It- you
oh,
remember we used to say that about children when we had young children? Yeah, let them play and wear
let them
themselves
play.
out so they can sleep tonight, honey. We do the same thing.
That's true. Let them play. We move around and be so busy, so busy, so busy. And I can attest to that. I can get up early, have a workout, start doing things, running errands or whatever. I can get started at 6 o'clock. By
Okay.
11:30, I'm starting to get tired. By
Okay.
2 o'clock, I gotta have a nap. I
Okay.
gotta have a nap. And then I'm normally in bed between 9 and 9:30 anyway. So,
Okay.
but my only thing is, like I said, with the menopause, I still wake up like around 2 and then maybe around 3 or 4. Like today, I've been up since 5 so far.
Okay. Okay.
So
And what time did you go to sleep though?
I went to bed. Oh gosh, I got into bed at 8:40.
Oh,
I
okay.
got into bed at 8:40 last night, and I woke up around 4:20, 4:25, something like that, and I just laid there. Then I finally just woke up and got up at 5 o'clock. So,
Okay. Well, that
but
was a good night's sleep.
it was, and I don't feel as tired as I would when I would go to bed like at 9:30 and waking up 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I feel really energetic right now.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm learning all these little things of how to get more rest and also learning how, when you're not getting enough rest, how it can um, have make you have issues with social relationships,
Okay.
different types of things, social skills, because you're sleep deprived, and so you're going to struggle with communication at times. Um, you may even struggle with empathy, emotional connection with others. So when you don't have that sleep, you don't have that to give. You don't have that energy to give to someone. You can't give it and you can't receive it because you're so tired. So
That
just
makes
another reason that getting that proper amount of rest time, that proper amount of sleep, that is important. So that way you can always keep your social relationships at a good hand.
absolutely. And you
Mhm.
know, another thing too, I thought about when you just mentioned that, you know how sometimes
Mhm.
you may go into a room, and when you get into that room, you're like, now what did I come in here for? You know what that's a sign of, Val?
Lack of sleep, lack of rest, and your memory is your brain is
Patient. Come
talking to
on
you.
now. Yes. And every time I do it, it's like, see, I didn't get enough sleep.
I did that this morning. I'm like, why did I walk out my office? Where was I going? What
I
was I
know.
going for? Mm.
I know.
The joys of getting older, the joys of understanding who you are and what you need.
And it's so interesting learning how we're aging and and it's true. We get so much wisdom
Mhm,
as we get older.
mhm,
And in our younger years, we were just going through the motions and trying to be superwoman and superman and all this kind of
mhm.
stuff. And oh, I can go on, I can function on 4 or 5 hours of sleep and all that kind of stuff. No,
No, no, ma'am. Was not designed that way.
I know.
Was not designed that way. So
Okay.
hey, look, as a term, Cynthia, is functioning by design. You remember that
Yes,
term?
yes, yes, absolutely. All
Functioning
right,
by
guys.
design.
So that is all what we're going to talk about with sleep this morning. And it is so important that and the health benefits that we have. Because without our health, without our sleep, we really
Mhm,
don't have value. We're borrowing from our bodies.
mhm,
And so we need to
mhm.
give it everything we have.
That
Okay.
is so true. That is so true. And if you don't mind, I want to leave you with my little Bible verses or little tricks or
Absolutely.
whatever. Okay. All right. We talking about sleep, and then in the Bible also talks about insomnia, and that's Psalms 1, 27, 2. And it says, He grants sleep to those he loves. So some of the
Mm,
things that when you cannot sleep, some of the things that you could possibly think about, you remember that prayer. Sometimes people still say it. Now lay me down to sleep. You remember
yes.
when we start our prayer like that. So now you say, Father, I
Hmm.
need you to help me
Yes.
a peaceful sleep. I
Absolutely.
pray, just as I slept as I did as a child, without a care in this world, give me peaceful sleep. That's one thing that we can kind of ask God for to help us get that rest that we're not getting. And then another thing that we could say, and this is from Psalms 3, 4 through 5. God, I cry out to you, sustain me. You remember that prayer?
Yes.
I said, you remember saying that prayer when you were little? That's true. My grandchildren says it too.
Mhm, mhm,
All right, God, I cry out to you, sustain me, lay me down to sleep, awake me again tomorrow refreshed.
mm.
That's the point of that deep sleep so that
That
we
is true.
will be refreshed the very next day. All
Abs-
right. Um, and God is a God that listens. He's a God that answers. He answers their prayers, and He answers the prayers because we trust in Him. That's First Chronicles. That's 5:20. So you know everything leads back to God. We want that rest.
Absolutely.
Say, God, give me that rest.
Absolutely.
Take everything away. Let me
I
sleep.
love that, Val. Now, see, Val's always going to end us on that word, honey. Okay. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All
It has
right,
been
guys.
great.
Thank you so much for joining us. And we can't wait to see you guys next week with some more tips and tricks because we're going to
Mm,
get this thing going for the fourth quarter storytellers. And we're so excited to see you guys. Make sure that when you're here, you go ahead and subscribe to the
mhm.
community, and we would love to hear your what you have to offer as well because I'm sure you have some suggestions and we would love to hear that as well in the chat. Okay, so have a great day, guys.
Thank you guys. Share, share, share.
Like, subscribe, and share.